Hi everyone, it's Chris, and I have a question for you. Do you feel lucky? Luck is something we don't talk about very much in business. We don't consider it part of business if we possibly can help it. And I guess there's a good reason for that. You know, luck is more likely to impact your personal life because we accept that our personal lives have complexity and maybe chaos in them, but we try to order everything in business. So we try to make sure that luck is not a part of what we're doing, but it is, right? Luck is the positive or negative or improbable chance that can happen to human beings. So this can happen to businesses as well as it can happen to individuals. Now, why luck is important? Why am I talking about luck? Well, we discount this a lot in business where we really should be thinking about it, because in business we tend to believe not in survival of the luckiest, but in the survival of the fittest, right? The most fit for purpose. Who is going to have the best product? You know, who's best positioned for the market? Who's best, you know, whatever. And that's fine, except for the fact that it's long been understood now that survival of the fittest is not actually a thing, right? Survival of the luckiest, and this is where we start talking about not luck in terms of, you know, how we consider luck, but serendipity, opportunities, beneficial, discovered opportunities that can take us on new, better paths, especially in business. Okay, and this is a complexity theory thing I talk about in a number of my videos. So why is survival of the luckiest more important? Well, at the right time, having a product that is just fit enough is much better than having the best product possible overall in completely the wrong time. And this worked in evolution as well, right? Being the best possible predator on Earth means nothing if you aren't at the right time to take advantage of it and become dominant in the, you know, the ecosystem. So this is really important, right? The survival of the luckiest is survival of the just fit enough at the right time, when you're serendipitous enough to be able to utilize that fitness, right? Not fitness overall. And too many companies that I see are focused utterly on their products, and they don't look at anything else in terms of the serendipity, finding new opportunities, the infrastructure behind the product, right? The product is not the be all and the end all. It is important, but it's not the be all and the end all. Everything has to work because this is a complex system, not a very simple one. And that's a mistake that a lot of leadership make with companies. You know, you can't treat it like a very simple, ordered creature, because it just isn't, right? So when we're talking about the survival of the luckiest, what we're talking about are two things really. The ability to adapt, right? And adaptation is something we talk about a lot in business. It's a key word in a lot of meetings, and a lot of projections. We've got to adapt to this market, or we want to adapt people to us, or people coming to us have to adapt. And, you know, I think it's overused. Adaptation takes a very long time. Dave Snowden gives a brilliant example of this with Kinevin, which is the complexity theory framework that you know I use. And he gives an example of dinosaurs that, you know, small dinosaurs that were climbing trees back, you know, pre-avian dinosaurs, if you like, back in prehistory. And inevitably, one of these guys will have fallen out of a tree, and, you know, you hit the floor when you fall out of a tree, and it's often, you know, terminal in terms of damage. So adapting to being able to fall out of a tree is not something that actually animals can do, right? You don't have time to adapt. Adaptation takes a very long time. And this is very similar to companies. Companies can't adapt to a wildly shifting market quickly unless they are a startup, right? And even then, they may find that they can't do it fast enough. Adaptation takes a long time. It's a year's game, right? However, there's something different called exaptation, and exaptation is the ability to radically repurpose what you already have to fit new circumstances, right? So it's kind of a trying anything that works. So in the case of these dinosaurs, you know, it's now known that dinosaurs all had feathers, okay, for mating displays or for warmth or whatever we think that it now was. So pretty much all dinosaurs had feathers, now accepted. And when one of these fell out of a tree, they didn't, on the way down, try to adapt by mutating and growing feathers, right? They already had the feathers. And so they, whatever, did this and found that their fall slowed, or they even glided slightly, And so over time that became more and more and more used. That was exaptation of something that already existed. And humans do this very naturally. We hoard stuff. We say, oh, I could use this in a project. Maybe I'll need that thing somewhere, right? Maybe not fit for the purpose originally. Pallets. Let's use pallets for coffee tables or shoe racks or whatever it is. We accept things very naturally. Businesses do this as well. Many businesses have actually innovated by exapting very quickly a product that wasn't fit for the right market, or getting rid of that product completely. But what do you have in place? You've got the infrastructure, the strategy, the business decisions are made for whatever the product is going to be. You've got the finances set up, business units may be ready. You can exapt to meet the demands of a very quickly shifting marketplace in this new market landscape we're all in much faster than you can adapt or force the adaptation of others, right? So look at serendipity. Look at opportunities. Be fit, but also be aware of opportunities and serendipity. You need both. Survival of the luckiest and just fit enough where it suits, right? Know if you need to adapt, know if you need to accept, and you can manage the serendipity of your organisation and find even better ways forward than you tried to project in the beginning. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to have a look at my blog, it's on involvemetraining.com. And you can follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn as well. But for now, thanks for watching and take care out there.